Hello everyone, Brittany Allen here. Sorry it's been a little while since my last video. We moved and then moved out of our house, moved in with my parents, went on vacation. Now we're back from vacation and I lost my voice. So it's a little scratchy still, so bear with me. But now that I'm back and settled, and you can tell my background's a little different because I'm at my parents' house, until we move to Hawaii next month. So we're kind of in a limbo state until our house is ready and our stuff is all in Hawaii. So what I wanted to talk about real quick with you was recently I became a reviewer for Magic Ears. And I know that a lot of time people are really stressed out about their ratings with Magic Ears and is it going to get invalidated? Is it not going to get invalidated? And I wanted to give you some tips now that I've gone through the training and I've done a bunch of the reviews myself as to things that I look for in a review in order to be able to invalidate it for you as the teachers. So what happens is after the class ends, for those of you that don't work for Magic Ears, after the class ends, the students all have the chance and the parents all have the chance to rate you. And you'll either get, 1 to 5 stars, and anything for Magic Ears under 3 stars and below will get automatically reviewed by someone like me. Sometimes the students leave tags saying, not fun enough, ended classes early, or whatever it is that they had a grievance with. And sometimes they don't. So from the training, what I have noticed is that, if you do have a student that has a tech issue, if you have a student that's not paying attention, if you have a student that's yelling at the other student, or if there's parents talking in the background, if there's something going on in the class and you don't report it, then it's hard for me to always invalidate it because it seems like, possibly the teacher didn't hear it. So, obviously one of the bottom lines with Magic Ears is to always mute the students if there's a problem in the class. So my recommendation for you, if you are thinking, the class is not going well, what can I do? I'm probably going to get a bad rating because I know we all think that during class, like, oh, Andy's not paying attention. He's, he's licking the camera, or his foot's up in the camera, or whatever it is. I would just make sure that you report everything. So even if that help's not going to come, which sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they're busy, they're helping other people, they're moving other classes, so they don't always get to your class. So if this happens, even if I know that some of the classes you may have the idea like, oh, they're not going to help anyway, I'm just going to push through. This is something minor. I would always report it. So if there's parents talking, if there's, if you have background noise, if there's mic noise, if there's students that are being disruptive, if the student's being disruptive in class and either disrupting the other students or not paying attention, that's a really easy way for me to be able to say, if someone in the class gave you a bad rating, that that's invalid because, Andy wasn't paying attention the whole time. So that's why he had a poor class experience. It was nothing to do with the teacher. So try, I guess, to help the reviewers out. If you are, which I know most of us are trying to get all of these, 3 stars and below, which we all get a bunch of them. Each student has a different experience or a different, thing that they want out of the class from the teacher. So if this is the case and you're thinking this is going bad, or even if it's going great, still report it. If a student's camera, blanks out or they're not in the camera, report it. If there's not a drop down option for it, then just go into the other section and type something in. So I had to type something in the other day like, Joey has no pants, on or whatever. So that way, when Joey's mom got angry because I didn't pull him up into the 1v1 interaction as much because I had his camera off and he was muted because he was yelling the whole time, then that basically covers my butt is what I'm trying to do. So always mute when there's an issue. And don't obviously leave muted for the whole time. Kind of mute them on and off. So what I do is I'll mute for a while. If I don't have a 1v1 section where I can actually pull them up and see if the sound issue is still happening, then I'll make my own 1v1. I'll pull them up into the mini 1v1 sections, and have them say a sentence or a word, and then see oh there's still background noise. So I'll put them back down. And then what I'll do is every time I check, I'll go up and I'll report it again. So that way the reviewer, while they're watching it, I can say in the review, I saw that at minute 5, 10, 15, and 20, you checked the student to make sure that there was still background noise. You called for help multiple times. So you did everything that you could do in order to help improve this student's experience. And there was nothing else you could do. Therefore, it's not your fault. One other important thing to note is that we are told to look for the bottom lines as well. So for this, you want to make sure that you're muting the students if there's any type of noise or disruption that's going to affect the other students. Secondly, your teaching passion. You want to keep the high energy. You want to be exciting to the students, engage the students. And then your other thing is time control. If you go like way over time, 32 minutes, or if you end class early, which is like a big no-no, then there's not a whole lot that we as the reviewers can do to help you with that, because it's pretty concrete with the time. So make sure that you are, trying to extend the slides and shorten slides where you need to make sure that you get to the Let's Play as close to 20 minutes as you can, and then in the class as close to 25 minutes as you can. And if you do that, then we can try to help you, by invalidating your ratings. If you don't do any of these things, then it's really hard for us to kind of fight for you and to make a good argument saying like, oh, this teacher had awesome teaching passion. She taught everything great. She was on time. She muted every student, and Elsa had a bad day, and rated her poorly. And I can honestly say then, I don't see anything in the class that the teacher did wrong. So make sure that you're hitting the bottom lines. You're, muting where you need to. Your time control is on. There's a lot of workshops if you're having trouble with time control. The other thing too is a lot of the workshops are full right now because of the $5 bonus. If they do get full, then email Naomi. And she said that she will help to open other time slots so that the teachers can get into these workshops. So that would be my last tip about that. So that was just a quick tip. Like I said, always mute first, and every time you mute, and even if you don't mute, even if there's something that you go to mute and the background noise is off, I would still report it anyway. There's nothing wrong with reporting the things that are happening in class. So don't try to stick it out. Don't try to be tough, or I've taught 700 classes, so I can deal with this bad behavior. Report it just in case. And that way the magic ears can actually go back then and, if they need to call their parents, if they need to call the parents or do something to fix the situation, because even if you had a bad class with the student, that maybe they could fix it so that the next teacher won't have that same problem, or, God forbid you get a student like that again, then they'll make sure that the problem is fixed before you even get there. So, bottom line, mute the student always if there's problems. Check back every once in a while to make sure that there still is a problem, or that or if there's not, then unmute them, and always report everything. So if a student's not paying attention, if the student's not in the camera, if their mom's talking in the background, if their mom's giving answers, any of that you want to I wouldn't say, sorry, that's a lie. Don't over-report it. Don't make up things that are happening in class. But, definitely report every situation that actually happens. That way, when I go to review it, I actually have a log showing me all the different times that you reported, so I can see that you were on it. So, this is not your fault. You were on it. You did everything that you should do, and they still gave you a bad rating. That gives me a better chance to be able to invalidate those bad ratings. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.